Hello class, in this video I'm going to show you how you can use the software package CrunchIt that's included in our Launchpad website. We're going to use CrunchIt to be able to do a simple linear regression analysis. You can access CrunchIt through any of the chapters that have a CrunchIt icon. I know for sure that Chapter 5 has plenty of CrunchIt icons, so let's start here. If we go to Chapter 5 under Regression, scroll down to Regression Lines and Least Squares Regression, and to the section 5.1 Regression Lines. We'll see this example. Does fidgeting keep you slim? So in this example, they look at 16 healthy young adults and see if whether the non-exercise activity, so somewhat like fidgeting, helps in fat gain. So we can actually obtain all this data by going and use our software package CrunchIt by clicking on this icon, CrunchIt. And now all the data will add into the CrunchIt software. So we have the non-exercise activity and the fat variables. From here we can then calculate or create a scatterplot. If we go to Graphics, scroll down to Scatterplot, then go to X, which is our explanatory variable. In this case, that's going to be non-exercise activity. Y will be the response variable fat, and press Calculate because we want to calculate a scatterplot. We can see that there is a negative, relatively strong linear relationship between the non-exercise activity and fat variables. From here, then we could also calculate the least squares regression line by going to Statistics, down to Regression, and scrolling over to Simple Linear. The dependent variable here, again, is fat gain. The independent variable is non-exercise activity. We want to display numeric results and press Calculate. So this is the software output that we can get for simple linear regression. It gives us our fitted equation along with the point estimate for the slope, the intercept estimate, 3.505, and then we also get the Ttest statistic for testing whether or not there's a significant relationship between the explanatory variable and the response. So this is the individual Ttest test statistic for the slope. We get the p-value then for this Ttest statistic. So we can see that there is convincing evidence that the non-exercise activity is a predictor of the fat gain. So that's kind of interesting. We can also calculate the correlation coefficient by going back to Statistics and clicking on Correlation. Click NE8 and Fat and press Calculate. All right, so this software, CrunchIt, can be used in place of your TI-84 to do any of your homework, Launchpad homework, or anything you need to use to do a simple linear regression analysis. However, it might be that you don't want to use data directly from the ebook. Perhaps you want to add in your own data set. You can simply do this by going up to File and New. Automatically, a new worksheet will open for you. So there'll be variable 1 and a blank worksheet variable 2 and so on. If you want to change the variable name so they reflect your explanatory and your response variable, all you need to do is double click on the variable and it will come up and you can change then the variable name. So var1 can become x or y or whatever you want it to be. Press OK. You can also then just simply add in values here from either your homework or from any sort of other analysis. You might also want to add in data from a, let's say, Excel spreadsheet. Perhaps maybe you want to add it in from the student survey data set. Well, you can open up an Excel spreadsheet. Simply just copy the cells you want to be added to CrunchIt. Go back to CrunchIt and press Edit, Paste Spreadsheet. So here we'll open up a new window for you where you will then just simply have to copy in the cells that paste in the cells that you copied from Excel. Go ahead and press Paste, and sure enough, now you have the data from your Excel spreadsheet in CrunchIt ready to then be analyzed. So go ahead and press Graphics. From here, create a scatter plot of your new data, X and Y. These are just dummy variables. And you can see that there is then a strong positive linear relationship between our two dummy variables x and y. If I want to then calculate the correlation coefficient, I can go to correlation, just click x and y, press calculate. I get a strong correlation of 0.9275. And lastly, if I want to do the least squares regression analysis and get the least simple linear regression line, I can go to simple linear. The dependent variable will be y, my independent variable will be x, and I want to get numeric results, so I'll press calculate. That's the default. And sure enough, I get a least squares regression line with a slope of 1.017 and an intercept estimate of 2.065. From here, I can also get my Ttest statistic value of 7.019. This is for testing whether or not there's a significant relationship between x and y. And I get the p-value associated with that hypothesis test, which we can see is really, really small. Also, I get my estimate for sigma, or in other words, S, which is 0.1054. So this will give me all the output I need to be able to answer any homework questions that I might have or data analysis questions. Hopefully this video helped you understand how you can use CrunchIt to do a simple linear regression analysis.